महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः।
अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः।
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
कैर्लिङ्गैः स्त्रीन् गुणानेतानतीतो भवति प्रभो
कैर्लिङ्गैः स्त्रीन् गुणानेतान् अतीतो भवति प्रभो
किमाचारः कथं चैतां स्त्रीन् गुणानतिवर्तते
किमाचारः कथं चैतान् स्त्रीन् गुणानतिवर्तते।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहमेव च पाण्डव
प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहमेव च पाण्डव
न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति
न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति।
उदासीनवदासीनो गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते
उदासीनवदासीनो
उदासीनवदासीनो
गुणैर्यो
गुणैर्यो
न
न
विचाल्यते
विचाल्यते
गुणा वर्तन्त इत्येवं योऽवतिष्ठति नेङ्गते
गुणा
गुणा
वर्तन्त
वर्तन्त
इत्येवं
इत्येवं
योऽवतिष्ठति
योऽवतिष्ठति नेङ्गते
समदुःखसुखस्वस्थः समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः
समदुःखसुखः स्वस्थः
समलोष्टाश्च
समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः
काञ्चनाः
तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो धीरस्तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः
तुल्यप्रिया
तुल्यप्रिय
प्रियो धीरस्तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः
अर्जुनः पृष्टवान् भगवतः वचनं श्रुत्वा अत्र अर्जुनस्य मनसि सन्देहः अथवा प्रश्नः उदेति। अतः पृष्टवान्, हे प्रभो, एतान् त्रीन् गुणान् अतीतः गुणातीतः पुरुषः कैः लिङ्गैः युक्तः भवति। तस्य आचारः किं, कथं त्रीन् गुणान् अतिवर्तते। कैः कैः इत्युक्ते कैः प्रकारैः, लिङ्गैः, लक्षणैः त्रीन् गुणान्, सत्त्व रजस्तमांसि इति प्रकृतेः गुणान्, एतान् प्रकृतिगुणान् अतीतः पारङ्गतः इत्युक्ते मुक्तः भवति। कैः, केन प्रकारैः। हे प्रभो, तस्य आचारः, व्यवहारः लोके, तस्य आचारः कथं भवति, कथं केन प्रकारेण सः त्रीन् गुणान् अतिवर्तते, अतिक्रामति, जयति इत्यर्थः। अतः अस्य अर्जुनस्य अस्माभिः दृष्टं पूर्ववर्गे अष्टमश्लोकादारभ्य 24 श्लोकपर्यन्तं दृष्टः एव। अतः अर्जुनस्य प्रश्नः त्रयः भवति, त्रयः प्रश्नाः सन्ति। कैः लिङ्गैः अतीतः भवति इत्युक्ते गुणातीतः पुरुषः कैः लिङ्गैः गुणातीतः भवति इति प्रथमप्रश्नः। द्वितीयप्रश्नः अस्ति, तत्तु आचारात्मकप्रश्नः, इत्युक्ते किम् आचारः, तस्य व्यवहारः कथं भवति लोके। तृतीयः साधनात्मकप्रश्नः, एतान् गुणान् अतिवर्तन्ते कथम् इति प्रश्नाः। येषां प्रश्नानाम् उत्तरं भगवान् 22 श्लोकात् आरभ्य 26तमश्लोकपर्यन्तं भगवान् वदति। प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहमेव च पाण्डव, हे पाण्डव, प्रकाशम् इत्युक्ते ज्ञानं, सुखम्, एते सर्वे प्रकाशम् इति पदेन ज्ञायते। प्रवृत्तिं कर्मणि प्रवृत्तिः, मनसः चञ्चलतां, लोभमपि, एतानि कार्याणि रजोगुणकार्याणि। अतः प्रवृत्तिः। मोहम् इत्युक्ते अज्ञानं, प्रमादं, मोहं, निद्रा इत्यादयः तमोगुणस्य कार्याणि। अतः प्रकाशं, प्रवृत्तिं, मोहम् इति एतानि कार्याणि भवन्ति। अतः तेषु न द्वेष्टि, द्वेषं न करोति, न निवृत्तानि तेषु अष्टेषु दर्शु न कांक्षति इच्छामपि न करोति। प्रकाश प्रकाशः इत्युक्ते सत्त्वगुणः प्रकाशः। यदा चित्तः यदा चित्ते सत्त्वगुणः प्रधानतया वर्तते तदा एव ज्ञानं जायते, सुखं जायते। तद्वत् रजोगुणः यदा भवति तदा कर्मणि प्रवृत्तिः, चञ्चलता, इच्छा, अशान्तिः सर्वाणि। तमोगुणः यदा वर्तते तदा मोहः, प्रमादः, अज्ञानं जायते। गुणातीतस्य दृष्टिः कथं भवति? न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि, न द्वेष्टि। गुणाः गुणेषु वर्तन्ते इति मत्वा, अतः गुणाः गुणेषु तेषु द्वेषं न करोति। सः केवलं द्रष्टा साक्षी भवति। अतः न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न द्वेष्टि। निवृत्तानि अपि न काङ्क्षति। निवृत्तानि अपि निवृत्तौ सत्यामपि न काङ्क्षति। इत्युक्ते ज्ञानिनः कृते सत्त्वरज तमांसि समानानि भवन्ति। गुणैः गुणैः न स्पृष्टः भवति कदापि। यथा मेघाः आकाशे भ्रमन्ति किन्तु आकाशः मेघैः न लिप्यते, तद्वत् न लिप्यते गुणैः। अतः एव गुणातीतः। गुणातीतः अवधूतगीतायामपि भगवान् अवधूतः उक्तवान्, न करोमि न भुञ्जामि इति मे निश्चला मतिः। सर्वथा एकात्मतां भजते गुणातीतः। अतः एव गुणातीतस्य जीवन्मुक्तिः सिद्ध्यति इति उक्तम्। उदासीनवत् आसीनः, यः उदासीनवत् आसीनः गुणैः न विचाल्यते, गुणाः गुणेषु वर्तन्ते इति यः अवतिष्ठते सः न इङ्गते, सः गुणातीतः भवति। उदासीनः इति युक्ते सः कस्यापि पक्षं न गृह्णाति। द्वयोः पुरुषयोः विवादं पश्यन् कस्यापि पक्षं न गृह्णाति। अतः उदासीनः। उदासीनवत् उदासीनवत् अनुकूलपरिस्थितिः सत्त्वगुणस्य कार्यं, प्रतिकूलपरिस्थितिः रजस्तमोगुणयोः कार्यम्। अतः एतासु परिस्थितेषु सः हर्षं न प्राप्नोति न तु विषादम्। अतः उदासीनः उदासीनवत्, आल्वेस् उदासीन, न्यूट्रल्। गुणाः गुणेषु वर्तन्ते। पञ्चमाध्याये एव उक्तं, गुणाः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्ते इति मत्वा न सज्जते। अहं शुद्धः आत्मा, गुणानां प्रकाशक अहमस्मि, साक्षी आत्मा अहमस्मि, न तु कर्ता। अतः गुणैः न विचाल्यते, सः न इङ्गते। इङ्गनम् इत्युक्ते कम्पनं, विचलनम्। अतः न इङ्गते इत्युक्ते ज्ञानिनः बुद्धिः निश्चला भवति। सः सर्वदा सच्चिदानन्दस्वरूपे अवतिष्ठति, स्थितः भवति। इति स्थितः भवति इति एतत्। अतः गुणातीतः आत्मारामः इति उक्तः। He revels in himself, आत्मन्येव सन्तुष्टः सन् सदप्रज्ञ सदोच्यते गुणातीतः। द्वितीय अध्याये अपि उक्तं, पुनः एकवारम् उक्तं, यतः अर्जुनः प्रश्नं कृतवान्। After this we next Shloka 24. From there we have to see the beautiful shloka. Again, the idea is already told. So from 22 to 24, all these are gunas. Gunatitanam gunaha. Gunaha ityukte, they are characteristics of a gunatita. Not guna means not sattva rajas tamas. So samadukka sukaha. Dukkam and dukkam are samaha. That person, that is jnani, the wise man, not carried away by the situations which bring about dukkham or sukham. Happiness or unhappiness. Situation only brings sukham and dukkham. Therefore, sama dukkha sukha. Sukhe, dukkhe sukhe cha samaha. Nirvikaraha ityartha. Nirvikaraha doesn't undergo any or doesn't show any reaction. Response may be the appropriate response, but he is not carried over by that. He is gunatitaha, not subject to depression when dukkha comes, or not subject to elation. Therefore, this seeing these gunatitas, these characteristics, is what if one practices. As Swamiji says, fake it, make it. So one has to fake it to make it. Of course, understanding the Brahma Tattva, but it is a sadhana, faking it and making it. Swastaha, se atmani stitaha prasannaha. Swastaha is swastaha, aswastaha, we say swastaha, health, unhealthy, swastyams. So really swastaha is swarupe stitaha atmanishtaha eva swastaha. If swarupe stitihi atmanishtaha eva swastaha, if that is alone is health, then we are all unhealthy. But we complained about the body being unhealthy, body being sick, body undergoing treatment in ailment. But that is always that. Then what to talk about then? Absence of Atmajnana. Those who do not have this jnanam, those who do not abide in oneself, they are all asvastaha eva. Then ityukte ajnaninaha asvastaha eva. Then who is really healthy, swastaha, that is jnani. Swastaha asve atmani stitaha. Because he is alone, is gunatita, awake to the atma, awakes in atma. Not carried over by anything, sukha, dukkha situations or of the upadhi. Therefore, is prasannaha, sada prasannaha, gunatitaha. He is happy about himself. There is no complaint. There is no want. He is free from all the pressures to be a fulfilled person because he discovers the fulfillment through this Aikya, Jiva Brahma, Aikya Jnanam, Brahma Jnanams. Therefore, is the happiness of a Gunatita is not due to his attitude, it is his knowledge. In the beginning, in fact, we recommend to develop the attitude, positive attitude, contentment, ityadi. But the happiness of a jnani is not because of his attitude, it's because of his knowledge. Therefore, when knowledge is there, attitude will be natural. The attitude to begin with, it has to culminate in knowledge. To have a good attitude, positive attitude, that is to begin with. But what about jnani? It's not about attitude, it's about knowledge. Jnanam, atma jnanam, self-knowledge. Therefore, svastaha. As samaloshtaashmakanchanaha, in the sixth chapter itself, this word came. Loshtam ityukte mrit pindam, clay, a clod of earth. Ashman shabda, ashma, ashmano, ashmanaha, ashman. Or ashman napumsakalinga, kshamitam. But napumsakalinga shabda, ashman. Then ashma, like it is declined like karman shabda. Ashman. Pashana. It is to Ashman means stone. Ashma, Pratama. If it is Napumsakalinga, to check. If it is Napumsakalinga, then Ashma. If it is Pullinga, then Ashma. I think it must be Napumsakalinga. So Ashma, Samaloshta, Ashma, Kanchana. Kanchana is Swarna gold. So with regard to all these Samaha, Samaloshta, Ashma, Kanchanaha, how can a person treat all these same? They deserve different treatment. They have got different values. But his vision is because his vision is Atma. He says same Atma. That's also we saw same thing. Sarvatra Brahmadarshanam Vidyavane Sampanne Brahmane Gaviyastini Shunishchaiva Shvapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Same. So with regard to all this, he has got the vision of Atma. He sees Atma everywhere. So therefore it is same. So therefore it is of knowledge. It's not the attitude, it is knowledge. Therefore he is, because he is swastaha, swaya atmani tishtaha, therefore samaloshtasmakanchanaha, therefore tulya priya priya, tulya priya priyaha, priyaha apriyaha. So priyaha, which will become priyaha, that which is anukula is priyaha. That which is pratikula is apriyaha. So therefore, something we love, we desire, something we desire is okay, we love, thinking that it will be anukula. Or other ways, as long as a thing is anukula, then we have love for it. When it is no more anukula, it is a pratikula, then we have apriya. Apriya is absence of priya or opposite to priya. We hate, aversion, ragadvesha. So either a thing is priya or apriya, or sometimes it is neither priya nor apriya. We are caught in these three. By saying priya, 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 priyaha, tulyaha, that he says, he is tulyaha, jnanaha krute, tulye samane staha. What this priya, priyamcha, ube, jnanaha krute, tulye bhavataha, both will be same, samanam. So priya, desirables, apriya, undesirables. He has no likes and dislikes, no raga, no dvesha, no love, no hatred. Therefore, he is tulya priya, priyaha. Therefore, he is sama to all. Therefore, there is no partiality. He treats everyone same. In fact, a jnani alone can treat everyone the same way. Others do lip service, but jnani, he walks the talk because jnanam. Then saha dhiraha. That person, dhiraha is what we are talking about. All this, udasinaha, gunaikina vichalyate, gunaha guneshu vartante iti, nengate avatishtati, Savadukka Sukha, all these are Bhagurvigi component, referring to the person, describing the person. Sarasvastaha, Samaloshta Shmakanchanaha, not referring to Loshta or Ashma or Kanchana, referring to the person who has got Samatva Buddhi, who has got Brahma Buddhi with regard to everything, referring to the person. Valitulya Priya Priyaha, Priyamcha Priya Priyav. Ube, so Tulye Priya Priye Yaha Saha. The one who is same to Priya and Apriya. So we are talking about Dhiraha. Dhiraha is Dhiraha, generally we say Dhiryavan, one who is courageous, bold. But in the context of Gita, we know. We have seen the context of Gita and Upanishad. Dhiraha means Dhirya, this Vivekavan, Purushaha. Of course, Dhiryavan we can say. Dhiryavan in the sense of having courage to face situations squarely. That is Dhiraha. But in the context of Gita and Upanishad, Dhiraha means Vivekava, Viveki Purushaha. So Viveki Purushaha Dhiraha. And Tulya Ninda Atma Samsitihi, another famous phrase. It's a beautiful thing. Tulya Ninda Atma Samsitihi. The Ninda is Dosha Kirtanam Ninda, criticism, censure. And Atma Stutihi, praise. So somebody praises. So Ninda cha Atma Samsutihi cha. Ube यस्य कृते समः तुल्ये समे भवति भवतः. Therefore, समदुःखः समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः तुल्यप्रिया प्रियः तुल्यनिन्दात्म संस्तुतिः. अत्र द्रष्टुं शक्यते गुणातीतस्य पुरुषस्य षट् लक्षणानि वर्णितानि. 6 are talked about. समदुःखसुखः स्वस्थः, that is 1. समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः, तुल्यप्रिया प्रियः, and धीरः also. धीरः सः धीरः विवेकवान् पुरुषः. तुल्यनिन्दात्मा samstutihi. 6. Dhiraha also can be counted. Therefore, 6 lakshanas. He is a viveki, vivekan. So, sukha dukkha swastaha. Swastaha, as I said, is a beautiful word. Arogyavan ityartaha. Swastaha. That to laukika artaha. Laukika artaha arogyavan. Arogya purushaha. His health is fine. That is, swastaha means everything functions as it should function. Therefore, swastaha. If anything slips from performing as it should be performing, then we say aswastaha, some defect. Therefore, aushadam. So here we are talking about swastaha means paramarthika arthaha. Swasmin atmani tishtat. From paramarthika drishtya, even though we are all in vyavaharika drishtya swastaha, from paramarthika drishtya aswastaha eva vayam. Aswastaha eva smaha. Why? Because there is no vision of atma. As long as that is not there, it is aswastaha eva vayam. Therefore, we require treatment. The treatment is this knowledge, atma jnanam. That is the only treatment. And the who treats, chikitsakaha guru eva. That's why Bishaje Bhava Rogina, Nidiye Sulavidyanam, Dakshina Muttahe Namaha. Guru only can do, he only can make us swastaha. So therefore, Atma Jnani, swastaha, dhiraha, swastaha, sada swatmani eva ramate. Atma Ramaha. Yaha Atma Ramaha saha swastaha. Atmani eva ramante. Atmani eva ramate. Yasya ramanam, ramana vishayaha Atma eva. Natu लौकिक विषयेषु तस्य रमणं भवति. That's why Rama also. Rama is a beautiful word. Ramante yasmin sarvani bhutani saha Ramaha. And that is Atma Rama, Atma Ramaha, Atmani eva. Therefore swastaha. One who is firmly established in one's own nature, true nature. Therefore Atmani ramate, swatmani ramate. Saha eva, that person alone, samadukka sukha bhavitum. भाग्य परिस्थितिभिः उत्पन्नं सुखं वा दुःखं वा तं विचलितं न करोति. Sukha, dukkha, these are nothing but experiences which we label as sukha and dukkha. Experiences are experiences. We label it as sukha or dukkha. And therefore we are after sukham, not after dukkha. Dukkha causes disturbance, causes pain, and sukham. If the person has a knowledge of Atma, he will look at it objectively. Therefore, is samaha only. Sukha dukkha yoho Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna dukkadaha agamapainaha anityaha iti. As Bhagavan said in the second chapter itself, in all agamapainaha, ataha samaha tishtati. That's why samaha, the word sama is also means Brahma, because of Brahma Jnanam, all these are treated the same or looked upon as mithya. These are mithya. Only when Sharira Abhimanam is there, then there is experience of Sukha and Dukkha. When Sharira Abhimanam is so strong. When Atma Jnanam comes, Sharira Abhimanam yada nashyati Atma Jnanena, aham Atma iti Drida Jnanam, aparokshanubhutihi bhavati yada, then Atmani eva ramante svastaha bhavati. Therefore, for him, Sukha and Dukkha are samaha. It becomes a natural consequence. Therefore, Samaloshtasmakacharaha. The word Samaloshtasmakacharaha tells something more. It shows the person is free from the grip of the material anchorings. There are anchorings. People after gold, after money. So, therefore, by equating that with Loshta Nashma, that money is just clay. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say and do it all, standing on the bank of the Ganga, holding 1 rupee coin in one hand and mud. Both are equal, saying that offers to the Ganga. So that is the vision of the Shastra is exhibited physically. So we have value for gold. Swarnam drishtva akrishtaha bhavati manushyaha vayam bhavamaha. We get attracted. Mritpandam drishtva. We are not after clay. We don't want to store clay in our banks. Natu pashanam. So upekshate. Mritpinda upekshate pashanam upekshate. Swarnam drishtva akrishtaha. There is no stealer of clay and stealer of stone. Of course, stone, if it is a vigraha, they steal. That is a different thing. But there is people, there are thieves who steal gold and money. But not, nobody comes, break open the house and come and steal our a clay pot. Because there is no value for it. As a person doesn't see any value, the thief doesn't see any value. So it doesn't mean Jnani doesn't see any value in Ashma Loshna. If that is so, then Kanchana, all of them are same. They are Brahma. Therefore, there is no Taratamya. There is no gradations in terms of which is more valuable, can you make more money or equating with money, and that which increases the purchasing power. That that buddhi is not there. Therefore, samaha. So therefore, gunatītasya drishtya sarve, everything is vikaraha eva. Even from the scientific point, everything is vikara. Kanchana, the gold, or clay, everything is made up of atoms and molecules only. Only in the molecule structure, atomic structure, they are different. Number of protons or electrons may differ. Therefore, it is Panchabhutanam vikaraha eva. And to that we superimpose certain value, and therefore, after gold, we run. But even from the material standpoint, scientific standpoint, if we analyze, they are Panchabhutanam vikaraha. But Jnani has the knowledge of even the cause of this Panchabhuta, which is Brahma. Therefore, Sama. We value gold and we think this is Anandaha Vardate. It is not so. The same thing which gives happiness can become a cause of sorrow also. And that is Loke Drishtameva. That is seen in the world. Nobody can eat gold. If food is not there, gold cannot be the replacement. We can have a coating of gold on our pancake and eat, but gold cannot be consumed. We must have rice and wheat to eat. So therefore, Swarnasya, Swarnena, Atmanaha Anandaha Navardate, because Ananda is not in Swarna, it is Atmani Evardate, Swatmanandaha. Tadvat Mritpindena Pi, na Mritpindena Pi Tasya, Tahana Veshti, Tasya Dveshahana Bhavati, Mritpindam na Prasati. So Anand, therefore, whether it is Swarnena, Tasya, Swarnena va, Mritpindena va, Pashanena va. Tasya Anandaha va, अथवा दुःखं वा न भवति तपो तस्य चित्ते एतेषां मूल्य अंकनं समानं भवति. All these will have same value, and therefore सः धीरः तुल्य प्रिया प्रियः. When people praise, we are carried over. We think our worth. We see our worth to be little higher, greater when people praise. When criticize, we have low self-esteem. That is not there for. These are all due to ahankara. अहङ्कारस्य स्वभावः अस्ति. यदा वयं प्रफुल्लितः भवामः प्रशंसया, खिन्नः भवामः निन्दया, तद्वत् धीरः न भवति, ज्ञानी न भवति. Because all these are ahankarasya swabhavah. So jnani's ahankara is now bharit ahankara. This ahankara is rooted, is placed in atma. Therefore, ahankara itself is bharit ahankara. Therefore, he is tulya priya priyaha, tulya nindatma samstutihi, tadavi gunatitaha. So, tasya gunatita sya purushasya gunatitaha mahapurushaha देहाभिमानं त्यक्तवान् आत्मज्ञानेन. अतः कोऽपि शरीरस्य निन्दां करोतु वा प्रशंसा करोतु, सः जानाति एते सर्वे उभे अपि they are just words. They are not talking about me. Saha sarvada atmani eva ramate. Atma adushita bhavati. Atma is not something to be praised or something to be criticized. It stands above all, and that is what I am. Therefore, I'm free from both. That is how a jnani is. Therefore, tulya, tulya, tulya ninda atma samstutihi. Then the next shloka, let us read. मानापमानयोस्तुल्यस्तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः
मानापमानयो तुल्यस्तुल्यो
समानयोस्तुल्यस्तुल्यो
मित्रारिपक्षयोः
मित्रारिपक्षयोः
सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी गुणातीतः स उच्यते.
सर्वारम्भ
सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी
परित्यागी
गुणातीतः स उच्यते.
गुणातीतः स उच्यते.
All these are dvandva. Mana, apamana. Mana, apamanayoho, tulyaha. Mana is honor. Apamana, dishonor. When there is mana, we feel happy, there is harsha. When there is apamana, there is shoka. Apamana causes shoka. Mana causes harsha. There are the effects of mana and apamana, karya. And for whom? For the ahankara, not for the atma. The gunatita, therefore, it remains tulyaha, same. With regard to honor or dishonor. When he is praised or honored, he is not shaken. He doesn't carry over by the praise. Or when he is criticized, then there also he remains steady, calm, not carried over by that. And this we can see in the life of Buddha. So, on all great saints, manapa manayoho, and no saints or the jnanis are left out. All were, and also now, being criticized left and right. But they don't react. Response is different. Reaction is different. They don't react. We react, but jnanis don't react. Reaction shows it is the ajnanam. Therefore, they don't react at all. Anapamana yoho, tulya nindatma samsutihi, vanapamana yoho, therefore tulyaha. And also tulyaha mitra ripakshayoho, mitra friend. A friend can become an enemy, an enemy can become a friend. Again, it is only based on the how the perception is. A person is labeled as a friend or as an enemy. So Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. When the other person invokes your pleased self, then he becomes your friend, you love him. When he invokes your displeased self, even if though he was a friend before, he becomes now your enemy. So therefore, really speaking, where is enemy, who is the friend? For Gunatu Tita is everyone is a friend and there is no enemy at all in fact. So some people may look upon Gunatita as an enemy, that is a different thing, but Gunatita remains same for all, whether one looks upon him as a friend or enemy. Therefore, he is Tulyaha. And Sarvaramba Parityahi, a beautiful phrase which we saw in the 5th chapter itself. So, Sarva Aramba Parityahi, Sarvaramba, all the undertakings, whatever karma is, yes, Parityahi gives up. Gives up means not physically giving up, physical giving up, of course, certain actions as a person take to sannyasa ashrama, should be given up. But more than that, parityahi is there is no kartrutva buddhi. Kartrutvam signifies ahankara. Kartrutvam bhoktrutvam. There is kartrutva abhavaha. That is what parityaha is. That is what tyaha, that is what sannyasa is all about. Jnana karma sannyasaha is absence of this kartrutva bhava by knowledge. He is free from the notion of being a doer. Brahmarpanam Brahmavigi. Everything is Brahma. So that's why Brahmarpanam Brahmavigi. Arpanam is that by what you offer unto the Brahma. Uh, that is the instrument. So, and Avihi, that what is offered into the Agni, that is also Brahma. And all the Karakas are Brahma. That is why that the Shloka we chant before Bhojanam, because there is a heater that is eaten and we use the tool to consume and offer to Jataragni. Therefore, all the Karakas among the at least five Karakas are involved. Therefore, Brahmarpanam, Brahmavihi, Brahmagnav, Brahmanahutam. And that attitude and that knowledge should be there, even though the knowledge is not steady knowledge, but taking it, making it. That knowledge should be there. Karakopamaradanam. So that eating action is some action where we are overpowered our desire for the food more than appeasing the hunger. We consume for taste and pleasure. Therefore, this shloka chanted before Bhojanam, one becomes aware of one's Swarupa. At least one can remind oneself of one's Swarupa. That is why this shloka is chanted. It's not that Bhojana shloka, but this shloka is important shloka where all the karakas are nullified, sublated by knowledge, by Brahma Jnana. So Kartrutva, that is a center one. When Karta is gone, all the Karakas fall apart. Because no action is possible, no Karakas are possible, no factors of action possible if Karta is not there. That is why we say Atma is Akarta. Atma is always Akarta only. Why should we say it is Akarta? Because I have Kartrutva Buddhi. Due to Ahankara. Ahankara is taken to be Atma, Adhyasa. Because of Ajnanam, there is Adhyasa, superimposition. It is mutual superimposition. Ahankara, which is not there, gets It comes to existence as though and gets the status of being real and act in the world as karta iti. So Ahankara is the vritti. It's a jada only, but it is as though it is sentient. And Atma is, that is, nowhere it is seen. It is just put behind. So Atma doesn't come to picture at all. It is Atma. Therefore, Atma is always akarta, abhokta. Why we say? Because we have kartrutva buddhi. To nullify that, we use the nanch akarta iti Atma iti. Otherwise, Atma is, you don't have to say something which is not that, not having that. So, the negative is say because we have a notion of that to be this, therefore we have to negate it. That is why neti, it's neti prakriya. Atma akarta we say. Atma is not only akarta, Atma is everything is Atma, Atma it cannot be akarta. Why akarta alone? Because we have kartrita buddhi, therefore we have to say, and kartrita buddhi causes, it's a cause for samsara. Agam karta, therefore karma palam accrues to the person, karma pala bhokta, therefore punya papa, therefore janma marana, the cycle continues. So therefore we have to negate Atma is not the karta. Therefore, all karakas are dropped, or therefore action also is not there. Therefore, action is possible when the person is influenced by the guna. Therefore, gunatitaha. Because he is gunatita, therefore is akarta. Atma is gunatitaha. Therefore Atma is akarta. Person is gunatita, the jnani. Therefore is akarta. When all the time. All the time is gunatitaha. Ajnana avasthayam is karta. या बुद्धि कर्तृत्व बुद्धि आसीत अज्ञानावस्थायां सा बुद्धि ज्ञानेन नश्यते. Therefore, not he becomes a karta, he discovers the akartrutvam, absence of kartrutvam in Atma. Therefore, gunatitaha sarvarambha parityahi sa uchyate. What has been said in all the shloka, that is 22, 23 and 24, these are the lakshanas, distinguishing characteristics of a gunatita. So by saying this, those mumukshus who are working for moksha, who are really sincere after moksha, for them these gunas have to be cultivated. Not easy, but to be done. Because it is not easy, not that we can postpone it or not follow it. We have to the extent possible, one has to strive to acquire and cultivate these qualities so that we can become mature to receive this knowledge. So therefore only Arjuna also asked. Otherwise, what is the point in asking and knowing this? What are we going to do? Knowing the characteristics of a jnani. Knowing that not to categorize the people, this is jnani, he is not a jnani. Not for that purpose. That is another problem. Not for that purpose. Who are we to categorize people as jnani or ajnani? Only a jnani can acknowledge, can identify other jnani. So if a jnani recognizes a jnani, what does it matter to a jnani? And what is the guarantee that person is a jnani also? So therefore, all these manipulations will not work. So jnani is a jnani, only another jnani can recognize the jnani. Therefore, these virtues, qualities, characteristics are mentioned that so that a mumukshu can cultivate. That is the idea. So Bhagavan mentioned. And Arjuna also asked. Now, Arjuna asked the other question, how does a person become gunatita? Katam gunatitaha? That Bhagavan answers in the next Shloka 26. Let us read. Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate.
मां च यो
च यो
व्यभिचारेण
व्यभिचारेण
योगेन
भक्तियोगेन
सेवते
Sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
सगुणान्
सगुणान्
समतीत्यैतान्
समतीत्यैतान्
ब्रह्म भूयाय
ब्रह्मभूयाय
कल्पते
कल्पते
The next shloka, last shloka of this chapter, that also we will read. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutas. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya vyayasya cha.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठा अमृतस्य व्ययस्य च
शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च
शाश्वतस्य
शाश्वतस्य च
धर्मस्य
धर्मस्य
सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च
सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च
मां च यः अव्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सेवते यः मां सेवते मां भगवान Krishna says मां means Bhagavan Krishna, not son of Vasudeva, Vasudeva. Son of Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva is Vasudeva only. So Vasudeva is Paramatma, not literally that son of Vasudeva, born to certain parents. He is looked upon as Parameshwara. Therefore, Mam Parameshwaram. Mam Parameshwaram. That is Narayanam, Parameshwaram. Yaha Mam Sevate, those who serve me, worship me, those who worships me, Parameshwara. Yaha Mam Abhyabhicharena, Bhakti Yogena, those who worship me. Abhyabhicharena Bhakti Yogena. Avyabhichara, Vyabhichara, Avyabhichara. Bhakti Yoga, that is by Bhakti. Bhakti with no Vyabhichara, no distraction whatsoever. So it is Avyabhichara Bhakti. Avyabhichara Bhakti is not something new we are learning. We have seen before. The 9th chapter. Manmana Bhavavat Bhakto Adhyaji Mam Namaskuru. And even in the 11th chapter, Matkarma Matparamaha Bhakta Sangha Varjitaha. In fact, that becomes a seed for the next chapter, 12th chapter, which is named as Bhakti Yoga. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Ananya Bhakti. 18th chapter, famous Shloka. So Ananya Ishvara Bhakti. That Ishvara Bhakti, Ananya Ishvara Bhakti, Ishvara is not separate from me. It is Jnanam and it is Bhakti. Bhakti hi Tasvarupanusandhanam Bhakti Ritya Vidiyate. Atmanusandhanam is Bhakti. Therefore, there is no difference between Bhakti and Jnanam. When we say Ishvara, then we say Bhakti. Ishvara Jnanam, Ishvara Bhakti, Ananya Ishvara Bhakti. Ishvara is not different from me, it is Bhakti. That is the Bhakti, Jnanam. So, and as a Karma Yogi also has got Bhakti because he is endowed with Yoga Buddhi, Karma Yoga Buddhi. Sarva Karma Palatyaga Buddhi, Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Therefore, he is completely surrendered to Ishvara. Pura Sharanagati. That way, Sharanaha, Sharanagati, he surrenders to the Lord. Avyabhichara, Bhakti Yogena, the Bhakti commitment which is undistracted. So those who worship me, those who follows me, those who do Shravanam all the time. He says Shastra Shravanam. Of course, listening to the glories of the Lord. That is also Shravanam only, but that should lead to Jnanam. So Shravanam, when we say it is Shastra, mainly Shastra Shravanam only. So different for different people. Those who are not ready, for them, Bhakti, songs, etc., or Smriti, then finally has to come to Shruti. So therefore, a lot of Bhakti. Para Bhakti and Jnanam is same. Bhakti, that association, that appreciation of Ishvara starts with Upasana. So at the level of Upasana, Ishvara is different from me. That is, Aham Bhaktaha Ishvaraha is Bhagavan. So Bhaktaha Bhagavan and Bhakti iti, the Triputi Vedaha Vartante three. The differences, and that when the Bhakti becomes mature, all the three differences the devotee, and Bhagavan and the bhakti, all these things resolves the Vedaha, like the Jnata, Jnanam and Jneyam, resolves into that Brahma. So culminates in Brahma. Therefore, one should be committed to this. That's why and Abhyavichara, Bhakti Yoga. Different names we can use. It is Bhakti is Atma Bhakti, Ishvara Bhakti, it is Jnana. Therefore, Abhyavicharena Bhakti Yogena Yaha Mam Sevate. You can interpret this as one who worships the Lord without any distraction, with total commitment, or one who pursues Shastram with commitment, no distraction, Saha. Because Shastram reveals oneself. Bhakti also leads to the same thing. Therefore, it is not different. So Sevate, Sevanam, Ishvara Sevanam, Shravanam is Ishvara Sevanam. Not only Puja, etc. is Ishvara Sevanam. Shravanam, Shastra Shravanam also Ishvara Sevanam only. In fact, Upasana, etc. should bring a person to Ishvara, that is Parameshwara, that is Brahma, which is myself. So these are the means to the end. So therefore, Abhyabhicharena Bhakti Yogena Yaha Mam Sevate, Mam Parameshwaram, who is Sarvavyapi, Sarvabhuteshu Tishtati, Antaryami, Saha Mam Sevate, Saha Gunatitan Atitya, Mabhuyaya Kalpate. That person will Atitya. He will transcend all these gunas through Atma Jnanam, Atma Vijnanam, Atma Jnanena, Saguna Atitya, because Gunan Samatitya, Samik Atitya is only by Jnanam. Atitya, Etan, Gunan, Samik Atitya, having transcended all these gunas by Avyabhachari Bhakti. You can see the similarity in the 12th chapter in this chapter also. There also talked about Avyabhachari Bhakti, and there also we saw the characteristics of a Bhakta, which are not different from that of a Jnani. So therefore, yeah, a Paripakva Bhakta and a Jnani, there is no difference. So that person, Brahma Bhoyaya Kalpate, that person becomes fit for gaining the status of being Brahma. Already Brahma, one has to recognize this, that Aham Brahma iti. It means he becomes fit for moksha marga, moksha. So that person is Gunatita. He becomes fit to gain the status of being Brahma. And gaining the status of being Brahma is not something new status. It is oneself discovering oneself to be that person. Gunatitaha. Brahma Bhuyaya Saga Gunatitaha Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. That person who is Gunatitaha is Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Kalpate Brahma Bhuyaya. Brahma Bhuyaya to recognize Brahma, oneself to be Brahma. For that he becomes fit. That is Atma Jnanaya. That is a sadhana for Gunatita. Bhakti Yogena Yaha Mam Sevate. Bhakti, it includes karma yoga, upasana, jnana, everything you can put together, say bhakti. And that should be vichara, constantly, unflinching, without any deviation. So that is the bhakti, when we say viveka jnanatmaka bhakti. Viveka jnanatmena jnanatmaka bhakti yogena, because jnanam is the sakshat sadhanam. So therefore, so Gunan Atitya, being free from all the gunas, Brahma Bhuyaya becomes fit for oneness with Brahma. This is a sadhana, Bhakti Yoga. So therefore, by the grace of Ishvara, a Bhakta by Bhakti gets the grace of Ishvara, and therefore through Jnanam, he gains the status of being one with Brahma, or the fitness, like the kalp, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate becomes eligible, Kalpate becomes fit. Then Brahmanohi Pratishtaham, the beautiful shloka. In fact, this shloka becomes the basis for writing Durga Pancharatnam by Kanchimha Pariva. That's a story is there behind that, and also this idea comes in the Durga Pancharatnam. There Acharya he shows this shloka when one of the person here, Shastriya, asks the doubt, then he quotes, he referred to this shloka and also from the Bhashyam. So it's a good, beautiful shloka it is. So Brahmanaha hi pratishtaham, aham pratishtah, Brahmanaha pratishtha, amritasya avyavis, avyasya cha, Brahmanaha pratishtha aham. That is, Brahmanaha pratishtha amritasya avyayasya. Aham is pratyekatma, Atma, Dharma Swarupam, Aham. What is that Dharma? Some Visheshanas are given. Avyayam Brahma, Amritam Brahma. So Amritasya, that which is Amrita, which is not limited by time. It means immortal. Doesn't arrive on time, doesn't depart also. There is no Janma, there is no Marana. Kalatitaha ityartaha Amritaha. Similarly, Avyayaha doesn't undergo any change. And Shashvatasya, it is Shashvata, which is decay-less, doesn't go under any decomposition. So therefore, Dharmasya, Shashvatasya Dharmasya also we can take. If we take Shashvatasya to be an adjective to Dharma, then Aham Shashvatasya Dharmasya Pratishtha, I am the embodiment of this eternal Dharma. And Dharma also we can take as Atma Jnanam. So since here the context is Atma Jnanam, therefore Atma Jnanam. So Brahmanaha Aham Pratishtha, Aham Brahmanaha Pratishtha, Aham Amritaha Avyayaha Shashvata Dharmasya Pratishtha Aham. Therefore you can connect Amritasya Avyayasya Shashvata Dharmasya Pratishtha Aham. Aham also Aikantikasya Sukasya Aikantikasya Cha. Sukha, which is Aikantika, means total Ananda, absolute Ananda. So I am the Pratishtha of such Brahma. Brahmanaha is Sashti Bhakti. So Amritasya, Avyayasya, Shashvata Dharmasya, Brahmanaha, Shashvatasya, Shashvata Dharmasya, Aikantikasya Sukasya, Brahmanaha Pratishtha Aham. So Brahmanaha Pratishtha Aham. So Brahmanaha is Shashti Bhakti, and other words also Shashti Bhakti. Therefore, Aham Brahmanaha Pratishtha. I, the Parameshwara, Aham Brahma. And this Parameshwara, this Aham, this Atma, in the language of 13th chapter Kshetrajna, which is in every Kshetra about Pratyekatma. So, Aham Brahma Amritasya Pratishtha. I am the Pratishtha, indeed the Pratishtha, the abode of this Amritatvam, Amritasya, immortality. Aham hi Amritasya Pratishtha. Aham hi Shashvatasya cha Pratishtha, Dharmasya cha Pratishtha, Sukasya cha Pratishtha, Aikantikasya cha Pratishtha, Shashvataha Nityam. And Dharma is the order. Shashvata Dharma and Sukham. Sukham it is not Vishay Sukham, it is Ananda, Brahmananda Sukham. So, and Aikantikam, that is the ultimate goal. Tadvishto Paramam Padam, that is the Vishnu Padam. So therefore, Avyabhichari Bhakti Yogena, by that Bhakti which is undistracted, only the person can become a gunatita. That is the answer to the question of Arjuna. So, katam bhavati avyabhicharana bhakti yogena yaha mam sevate saha gunatitaha bhavati. And aham Brahma and his nature is talked about in the shloka. That is why Brahmanaha Patishta Aham. Who am I? Answer for the Aham Brahmanaha Patishta. I am the abode of Brahm. I is the content of everything. So therefore, Aham Brahmanaha Pratishta iti. So it means Aham Brahma eva. So Aham Pratishta, when we say I am the culmination, I am the basis for Brahma. Aham Pratyahatma. When we do analysis of Brahma, where do we land? It starts with Ishvara and it ends with Tatutvam Asi. That Brahma you are. Culminates in that Brahma you are in I, the Atma. Therefore, Atma is the Pratishtha. Atma is the Pratishtha of Brahma. Therefore, Aham Brahmana ki Pratishtha. And that Brahma is Amrita. And that Brahma is Avyaya. Amrita free from distraction. Avyaya free from changes. Doesn't undergo any change. And Shashvatasya. It is Shashvatasya Dharmasya. It is gained by Shashvata Dharma, which is knowledge, by the pursuit of knowledge. Because Arjuna's question is, Katam Gunatitaha Bhavati. Therefore, by the pursuit of knowledge, and knowledge is revealed by the Shastram, therefore, Shashvata Dharmasya, that which is to be attained by the pursuit of knowledge, and that is what Dharma here. Therefore, Shashvatasya Dharmasya Pratishta and Sukasya, Aikantikasya Sukasya, not relative happiness, total happiness, which is absolute happiness, which is not subject to coming and going. So I am the Pratishtha culmination of this type of Brahma. By knowing Pratyagatma, one recognizes oneself to be that Brahma. That is the meaning. So not one become Brahma, because one is already Brahma. Recognizing oneself to be Brahma, Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati. In translation, we will see a knower of Brahma becomes Brahma. There is no becoming. If something becomes, it can unbecome also. That's why we say it is anudarshanam, recognizing oneself to be Brahma. So, aham brahmanaha pratishtha means I am the culmination of this Brahma. It is aham Brahma. So it starts with Ishvara, and Ishvara culminates in Brahma by Tatpadam in the Mahavakya, and that Brahma aham asmi. So that is the teaching here. With this, the chapter is concluded. Short summary we will see in the next class. Om Tat Sat.
Om
Tat.
Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu
Iti Srimad-Bhagavad-Gitasu Upanishadsu
Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre
Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre
Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade
Shri
Shri
Krishna
Krishna Arjuna
Vade
Samvade
Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Chaturdashodhyayaha
Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Chaturdashodhyayah
Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Jayanti Yam Samagaha Jnanavastitatatgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidusvara Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। धन्यवादः।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी। हरि ओम।